You have been living the dream of your mother, of your pappy, of your cousins, of somebody who told you that the best way to live life is the life that they decided that you should live. Even the best life that society said that you should live. You don't know what success is. Baby, you don't even know who you are. Your self-concept, shaky at best. The question is, how do you get to a space where you live your best life, not theirs? That's the conversation that we're about to have right after the intro. And welcome back to another episode of the Daily Donna with me, your host, Dr. Donna Oriowo, sex and relationship therapist in the Washington, D.C. metro area. And I know I came for you just a little bit at the very beginning of this episode. However, I know and you know that you're exhausted, that you are disgruntled, that you feel like life is feeling a little bit flat, that things are not going the way that you would want them to go. And you're trying to figure out who, what, when, where, why of it all, right? Like you're trying to figure it all out. I understand that. And we are going to do that work. But it's kind of like, well, who are you to tell me we're going to do this work? Well, I'm Dr. Donna Oriowo. I think I said that. I am a sex and relationship therapist. I think I said that too. But I'm also the author of Drink Water and Mind Your Business, a Black woman's guide to healing the BS, or unlearning the BS and healing self-esteem. I know the title of my book. I do. I swear I do. Why I get it wrong every now and then, I don't know. Anyway, moving on. So, one of the things that I talked about in the book, and one of the things that I feel like I continually repeat now, if you watch some of the other videos, you'll see it's there too, where I talk about you need self-concept in order to have self-esteem, in order to behave in a way that is aligned with what you actually desire for yourself. A lot of us don't live the way that we desire because we don't esteem ourselves. We esteem the performance that we put on so that other people are satisfied with us, so that other people maybe are proud of us, so that other people can see themselves in our journey. So what we do is we give up ourselves. Some of us, we never got an opportunity to be introduced to ourselves because I don't know about you, but I'm an eldest daughter. I'm a firstborn, first gen, and the dreams that they came to the country with were placed upon my shoulders. They were placed upon my head. I was told what I would be, and I didn't get to live necessarily the way that I wanted to live. It took me a while to find my stuff. And even though I had moments, right, where I freed myself from the tyranny of doctor, lawyer, engineer, there are still, like, I'm still a doctor, just of sex, right? Not exactly what they had in mind, but they should have been more specific. But still, it's this, a lot of us, we live our lives for our parents, right? We want to be, in some ways, their wildest dreams. And sometimes their wildest dreams are not that wild. Sometimes they're actually quite mundane. And the dreams that you have for yourself, being a generation removed from whatever struggles that they had, having your own struggles, these new struggles, your own struggles, that you're still living the life that they wanted, that was wild for them, which is not wild for you. Really, it requires the shrinking of yourself. And we've been talking about not apologizing for who we are, that knowing the difference between when you owe an apology and when you don't, right? We've been talking about the deliciousness of Black women in general, because I mean, I feel like I never quite leave that out of the conversation. But I realized that I didn't actually tell you how to build up your self-concept. How do you get to know yourself when everything that you've been in some ways has been for someone else? And this is especially true, I would say, something that shows up for people who are recently broken up with somebody. They're like, well, I don't know who I am without this person because I've been with that person for so long. So if you know somebody like that, send this video to them. Don't be stingy. Okay, so let's get into it. How do you build up this thing? I want you to know in advance that this is going to be a homework heavy episode. As in, I'm going to be telling you all kinds of things that I would like you to do. So, how do you build up when you've been performing? That's one thing that we're going to talk about. Then we're going to talk about how do you separate the you are from the you other people want you to be and their expectations. And then like what does self concept actually look like in practice? First of all, I think it's always important to define the terms that you are talking about. So in Drink Water and Mind Your Business, that's this book here, I talk a little bit about both, BOAF. I talk about both because knowing what self-esteem is and knowing what self-concept is, I think it gives you everything that you need to be able to move forward. Self-esteem is very simple. It is how a person feels about themselves, their worth, and their value. That one, that's easy peasy, I think. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Self-concept, on the other hand, is everything there is to know about you. It includes how you feel about yourself, right? But it to me, it's what I wrote, page 14, chapter 1, in What the Hell is Self-Esteem Anyway? Self-concept includes everything there is to know about you, your beliefs, abilities, qualities, and regular daily behaviors. It's a concept from Carl Rogers, old white guy, da 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 da. I think all broken records are right twice a day, and this is definitely a right moment. So self-concept, it includes everything. And when I say that it includes everything, sometimes people shortchange it to mean something that I did not say. I mean everything. So, for example, we're going to go ahead and use me. My self concept, I know a lot of things about myself, and I know that you do too, which means that your first homework actually is to write 20 things you know about yourself. Yes, just 20. 20 things you know. So, like, let me give you an example. I know that I'm a morning person. I know that I don't like leftovers. I know that my favorite water to drink is Fiji water for the most part. Actually, no, that's not true. It's aquapana, followed by Fiji water, followed by anything that's not Dasani or Aquafina. And maybe that's mean, but that's me. Right? Um, I know that I am not that nice if I talk to somebody before the double digits. I know that I'm not that nice if I have to talk somebody into the double digits. Meaning that I may be a morning person, but I don't want to talk to you. And in the evening, I'm not trying to be on the phone with you till at 10 p.m. Not in the nighttime. No, no, mm-mm. Not a thing that I like. I know that I love my plants, but I'm a plant mama. I'm just okay. I'm looking like they barely getting by. I got plants that just stop flowering because a girl doesn't do everything that she should, right? So these are things that I know about me, right? I know that I'm going to get up in the morning, usually somewhere around the 6:30 mark, 6:30 between 6:30 and 7 these days. I know that I like to start my day off and that I'm most successful if I start my day off with myself and not with somebody else. Meaning that I will take my time to journal, to sit, to think. I like to start my day reading. I know that I put French first thing in the morning because I know that if I have to do it in the afternoon, evening, I won't show up because I have other things to do that are now forward of mind. Look at that. I just gave you a bunch of stuff that I know about me, which means I know there are things that you know about you. And I want you to write 20 of them things out. And because you like bonuses, and I do too, also include 20 things that you love and 20 things that you detest, that you hate, that you don't like to see coming, that you don't want nobody to ever bring your way. Write those things out. Writing these things out, I think number one, it could just remind you that you actually do know a lot about yourself already. And I think that where it comes to self-concept, sometimes people think that I think that we aggrandize ourselves. I think that we believe that we know more about ourselves than we do. But I also think at the same time, we act like we don't know nothing about ourselves. Example. So I was doing this goal planning retreat when I was in Mexico. And I asked the people, I was just like, tell me 10 things you know about yourself. Just write it down on a list. I may have even said 5, y'all. And when I tell you that the people were drawing a blank, I was just like, why are we drawing a blank? You know you. Who knows you better than you, boo boo? Nobody. Nobody. And anybody who aggrandizes themselves to say that they know you better than you know yourself is a whole plumb liar. Now, the only exception to this could be your God, if you believe in God, in any type of God. Maybe they know you better than you know yourself, but nobody earthbound knows you better than you know you. You know many things about you. The question is not whether or not you know you, it's whether or not you've tapped into what you know. I'm asking you to tap in, right? So I know that for me, the natural next question is like, well, okay, how do I separate what I know about myself, right, from what other people, like, how do I separate myself from what other people know or want or think that they understand or know about me? I would say for me in this one, this is actually, I would say, difficult work because what is that saying, that you are the 5 people that you spend the most time with? And I would say, well, start there. Look at the people that you spend the most time with, and what do you know about who you are when you're with them? And is it a performance that you're putting on? You just ask yourself the question, is this a performance? Am I performing what it means to be their friend according to what I know they said they want, or what they've expressed, or the way they treat me? Or is this just who I am? And I'll point out that sometimes both can be true. You don't have to be the exact person that you are when you're by yourself. You're probably not that exact same person when you're with your lover, when you're with your best friend, when you're with your mom, when you're with your siblings. You're probably, like, I would say it's almost like a prism, right? It's like, yeah, you can look at it straight on, but it has facets. And baby, you get to have facets too. So don't lose your facets thinking that you would only act in one way if you were like, if you were truly, quote unquote, if you were truly yourself, that you would only be one way. That's not true. You would be multiple ways because you're a diamond. You have all these lovely facets. Allow yourself to have the fullness of those facets, but also take a moment to separate out what someone thinks they know versus what you actually know, right? Like, some I have done the work of Johari's window. So Johari window boasts 4 planes. And I also talk about it in his book. I swear all the things are in this book. So there's the public self, the private self, the blind self, and the undiscovered self. So the public self is what I and others both see in me. It's what we both agree. Like, this is what I'm trying to show you, and it's actually what you see. Then there's the private self, what I see, but others do not see because I'm not trying to show them. And it might be something that's only for a specific few. Then you have the blind self, which is what they see that you don't see. And then you have the undiscovered self. It's undiscovered. Nobody sees nothing. It may be nebulous. It's on the edge of your mind. It's over there. You haven't maybe had the experience yet, right? That would help you to know this other version of you, right? Like, I don't know what kind of person I am before a skydive. I can imagine, but I am not jumping out of any planes anytime soon, which means I'm probably not going to meet her, right? Same thing as to, like, how I am after a skydive, right? Or a deep sea exploration. I'm not going. I shan't go. So I won't get to know who I am when I'm in that type of confined space, be it below sea level or jumping out of somebody's airplane. I'm not going to get to meet her. I'm okay with that. Right? So these are the pieces of how others see us and how we see us. Now, when the thing about a blind self is, other people see behavior. Other people do not necessarily know the motivations behind behavior. They can only ask the questions, right? So people can think they know, but they don't actually know. That is a conversation. I would say that all of your relationships are a combination of the public, private, and blind selves, with a little bit of that nebulous, undiscovered, just happening in the background for every new experience that you have. I like to think of babies as being mostly undiscovered people because they haven't discovered what we don't know what they're going to like, what they're not going to like, how they're going to behave because we're just getting to know them. They're just getting to know this earth. They're getting to know us and they're sort of traversing the space. Think of yourself as a baby, right? Like you've had a lot of experiences, but sometimes we tend to find ourselves in repeat experiences, sometimes because we haven't learned lessons, and sometimes because that's where we're the most comfortable. So we don't seek out new experiences for ourselves, which means that you don't get to know yourself beyond something. But it does mean you get to know a depth of knowledge, the depth of how you behave in this particular situation until factors change. Anyway, whole point being that the blind self, I have asked people about what they see that they don't believe that I see in me. And that is always a revelation, what people believe that they see, but it is still filtered through their private self, their public selves, their blind selves, and their undiscovered selves, which means that they can only give you a piece. It will never be the pure truth because it's only their pure truth. So you have to take anything that someone says about you with what? A grain of salt. So, like on mine, I told you I asked, and I talk about it in the introduction of the book, and I ain't reading all that. So, if you want to know, it's in the book. So, getting to know those pieces of you, and even doing a Johari's window for yourself, right? Like, what is it that you want people to see about you? And then maybe ask whether or not people see this thing about you. That's how you can confirm that what you're trying to show publicly is also what people are seeing publicly. The private self, what is private about you? Ask yourself the question, sit with the answers, don't judge them. Because I know that when we get into a space where we're starting to really think about who we are and what there is about us, sometimes we automatically move into a space of critical self-judgment because we wish that we were something that is different than what we are. Stop. Don't do that. That's not fair to you to think that you're going to be Viola Davis when you didn't live Viola Davis's life. You didn't live Will Smith's life. You are you. And that is so much more than enough. So let's just learn about you. And then consider what you do, who you are for other people in your life. And you're going to enter into the realm of judgment. Is that who you want to be? Does it feel good, right, safe, and sane? Sometimes things feel safe, but they don't feel sane. You feel like, I don't know why I'm doing this thing. I know better than this, but when I get with this person, I behave this way. That's a good time to ask yourself why. Who is the performance for? Because when you're performing, I'm not saying that it's wrong for you to perform. We all perform. We all wear the mask. We all are code switching. We're all doing this usually for some level of safety, so that we can feel safe in the love, safe in the relationship, so that we don't have to feel alone. Sometimes we're performing things for a point of connection, and those things aren't even true for us, which means that really you cheat both you and them. You cheat them out of an opportunity to get to know you, but you also cheat you out of an opportunity to be you. It's okay to perform, particularly when it's for your safety, but also it's okay to take a risk, to recognize that, yeah, a relationship might change is because you've changed, and that it's okay for relationships to change. There was a girl I loved down bad. I would say that we were like almost besties, right? And things changed, right? Like I learned things about her that didn't fit for me. And I also learned things about how I behaved when I was with her that didn't serve me, that I had to be a little bit smaller than I am, that I couldn't take up as much space when I was with her because, in some ways, it was interpreted as a threat to her. Now, I don't know whether or not she recognized it, but I did. And it didn't feel good for me. And so I stopped performing it. And our relationship did not survive my no longer performing a smaller role in her life. Like, I can't be small if it makes so that you can feel big. I won't do it. right? I mean, I do the same thing when I play Uno with my family. I will whoop that butt. I'm not here to let you win. You're gonna learn today. The best way for you to learn is if I whoop that ass. And it's the same thing I do with the kids. If you put your kids down at the Uno table, I'm making them draw four. I'm just saying, right? Because that's who I am. Maybe it's not a good thing, but it is a thing that I know. I also know that I'm very rarely interested in the children of my friends. I'm not interested. I'm interested in you. I like you. I know that that's probably an unpopular, unfair thing to say, and I could probably do a video just on this, but I won't. I am interested in you. I think that sometimes people forget you in honor of your kids, and I want to remember you, and also pay a little homage to the kids, just a little hi hello, a little hug, a little kiss, a little I'm happy that they're growing, but I'm more interested in you being able to talk about you than you talking about your kids. That's part of who I am, and I have learned over time to stop judging it. It's just me. So there are some things that are also just you. I was performing all this extra for things that don't matter as much to me. And I recognize that some of these things are the niceties. We want to perform the niceties, but it's also kinder for you to maybe recognize the niceties and find a way to do the niceties that doesn't require you to stop being you in order for those things to happen. I think there's some in between space that we often don't explore because we don't know who we are. So I'm asking you to know who you are and do the work of writing out who you are for other people and asking yourself, does this feel good? Does it feel safe? Does it feel sane? Because those things will let you know what is yours and what's something that you do specifically for maybe a certain person or a group of people, etc. And you get to choose whether or not you do it. I'm not saying stop. I just want you to be aware. That's all. So what does self-concept look like in practice? Self-concept looks like in practice is that you know yourself so Gucci down bad that you are able to prepare accordingly. So what I know about myself, like I told you, one of those things. If I leave the things that is just for me until later in my day after I've started working, I'm not gonna do it. Like now I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling sluggish, I've used up all my mental energy. I ain't got no space, I ain't got no time for it. I know that if I start my day with me, things will go my way for that day. That I'll be able to do the things. I know that I have the most energy in the morning. I know that my brain is firing on most of my cylinders in the morning. I know that I have more slow, lethargic, whimsical thoughts in the evening. It's when I start having like dreamland fantasy thoughts. And I like those thoughts too. And I get to use those thoughts for whatever, right? I'm also learning that I probably do better on video in the afternoon, but I wouldn't have known until I knew. Now I know. I'm trying this recording in the morning thing, and I'm just like, it might be a little too early to be recording anything for anybody because it feels like talking to a person before the double digits. Ew. So it means that I will adjust my schedule according to what I know about me. I will change up I will change things up. I will try to honor me as best I can, given the givens, right? Because you still got a job, friend, which means you got work to do. And sometimes you have to do the thing at the opportunity that you have. Oh, here's the thing that I learned about myself that I apply that I think is self concept applied. I stopped labeling what I've been doing as pure procrastination where it comes to speaking engagements and things like that. Most times, I don't typically create the thing until maybe the week I'm going to do whatever conversation or have whatever presentation. Like if it's on a Wednesday, then I'll use Monday and Tuesday to actually make a PowerPoint or to fully outline what I want to talk about. Part of the reason that I do that is because from the moment you tell me that I'm going to do this thing, I'm already thinking about it. I'm already thinking about what I would include and not include, the who, what, when, where, whys of it all. Like there's a lot of thought and living going on in the creation. And it always turns out to be something that is way better than anything that someone asks me to give them everything they need a month in advance. I know that that may soothe their anxiety about whether or not I will be prepared. So I recognize that and I try to leave some space for that. But for me, in the same week, that's my sweet spot because it gives me maximum time to live life and think about the concept in a way that feels unpressured and unmoored from the idea that everything has to be go, 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 go. And it feels more natural. And it also means that the talk is always better. Anything that has been so pre-planned that I gave you that thing a month in advance, I done forgot. In the time between I gave it to you, so in my mind, it checks it off as complete. And when I get on the stage, now I have to do the additional work of reviewing my notes, trying to get back into the mindset, the emotional space, so that I can do a good job. That doesn't mean that it's not still good. Like, it's still good. It's just not my best. You won't get my best if you ask me to do your thing. You get what I'm saying? So the piece of learning self-concept, some of it is, quite frankly, it's discovery. Treat yourself as a child. Go outside, have new experiences, and not just go outside, also go inside, go into you, right? Go into you and reflect on some of the experiences that you have. Reflect on some of the ways that you behave. Consider how you behave with who, and determine for yourself, is this a facet of you or is this a reflection of them? Like, is this something that you only do with them, only for them, because of how you feel when you're with them, right? Get yourself a feelings chart and really consider like your feelings and your emotions, being able to name those things, understand, do a body map. That's a beautiful way to learn yourself. A body map means that even if you are offline up here for whatever reason, you might be in your body that day and you might notice one person from a while back, she would have itchy palms and that's how she knew she wanted to slap somebody, right? I know that some of us, we say itchy palms, that means that we're getting that money. But whatever the thing is, right? Like, you're learning pieces about yourself. Everything that you know, create the ultimate body map. Everything that there is to know about you. When do you have more whimsical thoughts? When do you have more concrete thoughts? And because I talk to women, I'm assuming that you are one. And that I would also say, also consider your menstrual cycle, the full 28-day cycle, not just the 5 to however many days you be, bleeding out, right? Consider that as well. What are your energy levels like throughout the entire phase of a month? So for a month, track you. How do you feel in the mornings? How do you feel in the evenings? Are you a person that has sleep anxiety, right? Like, when you're about to go to sleep, you have more anxiety. Are you a person that has a bunch of thoughts going on? Are you a person who wakes up with pep in their step, or like you're dreading it? Is there a difference between the days where you do wake up with dread and the days that you don't? These are all things that you know about you. Create almost like a dossier on who you are, something that you can look at, refer to. Create a list or a notebook of just things I learned about myself today, right? Give yourself an opportunity to not just say, I know everything there is to know about me, but also to think, while I know everything that there is to know about me up to this point, and I am still learning me. It's okay to be a person in progress. We're all people in progress until our stories end. So give yourself an opportunity to know who that person is, to know that who you are, what you like, that these things will change, including like do a yes, no, maybe list, because it's about those sexual things that you like. That are your yeses, your nos, and your maybe. Even that thing changes. And I believe I offer that thing for free through the QR code in the book. If you don't have the funds to buy the book, I would say go scan a code somewhere. But the whole point is that getting to know yourself is a process of discovery. It's not, I'm going to know everything there is to ever know about me today. It's, I know everything that there is to know about me up until May 23rd, 2026. And I'm going to learn new things about me as I learn new information, as I apply that information, as I interact with that information. Now I get to learn something new. I'm constantly learning something new. And that means that I get to learn a new facet of me. But if I want to arrogantly say I know everything there is to know about me forever, then I don't give myself an opportunity to learn and relearn, to grow and change, to be able to say things like, I like nutty bars or I love nutty bars when I was 10, but I do not like nutty bars as at my big age right now. And I don't. Bad experience with eating too many nutty bars and, girl, learn some things. Right? Like I used to like the Dasani water and then I had better water. And that's how I know I don't like the Dasani water. I know that the Dasani water still quenches thirst. And I know that there are people outside who love the Dasani water. Feel not ashamed. Name yourselves in the comments. But I know that for me, I don't like it. It's not my favorite water. But if there's nothing else to drink, a girl gonna drink it. And it's probably gonna taste like the best, cool, refreshing water that ever hit my throat until I find better water. Those are just some things that I know about me. And speaking of things that I know about me and some things that I said that I was going to be held accountable to, I told you that I was going to be also doing these 7 types of rest. So yes, we just made a transition, y'all. If this is not what you was looking for, instead go do your self-knowledge homework, that building that self-concept homework. But I said I was supposed to be doing a update and then I failed to do the update. So I'm going to give you a quick update on the mental and emotional rest of it all. I feel like this weekend was the weekend where I got the most of it. I told y'all I've been running on fumes, been tired, and something changed yesterday in the evening. I felt the shift and I was just like, oh, I finally feel rested. I don't know what happened. And upon further reflection, I do know what happened. What happened is I had a weekend where I didn't have to think about nothing. I ain't had no decisions to make, not really. And that is part of like the mental rest of it all, because I think I was suffering from a little bit of decision fatigue. I needed to choose a new assistant. I needed to choose what type of work that assistant would do. I'm always choosing something, right? I'm a business owner. So I'm constantly making decisions about things, including what I should post, what I should say, da 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 da. And I put that down for a little bit and I just was like, girl, get in front of the camera because you promised you was going to do it every day. So that's not even a decision you need to make. And let come what comes. And making this decision that way has made some things easier. Also, past me, I love her down bad because she be making decisions for future me that I don't even be thinking about. So I do a date night for my husband every month. I said I was going to date this sucker once a month and I was going to plan it, pay for it, and just do the whole thing, like do the whole shebang. So that was one less thing he would have to think about, but that I would still get the time for us to spend together. He plans his own, I plan my own. I'm winning this year. So turns out, Pat, here we are more than halfway through the month of March. And while I did plan his birthday, and I also planned for us to visit his folks, what I didn't do was plan our date because those don't count. And I was just like, shoot, I really don't know what I'm going to do. I got to do some research, see what's in town. We're in the DMV area. Everything is possible here. Not as much as in New York, but still lots of things going down in the DMV. So I'm getting ready to do some research, but I said, let me just look at my calendar real quick. Turns out I put go to Bus Boys open mic night on the calendar. I didn't have to think about nothing. All I had to do was follow the calendar. And I want to say thank you, past me, for holding current me down bad because I really didn't know what I was going to do. And it's like past me knew that I had so much going on between February and March that I would forget to plan and already had the plan made out. So I'm just like, oh, goodness gracious. Thank you, me. And it's the same thing with I do like a pleasure. I try to have a moment of pleasure every single day. That way I remember that I'm a human being, not a human doing. Because we always have those heavy to-do lists. We don't really have a to-be list. So I just wanted to be. I wanted to be in a space of joy, pleasure, or rest. I created a list of 100 things that bring me joy, pleasure, and rest. At the end of last year when I had all this time to sit and think, So I don't even have to think about what I'm doing on a day to day. I could just pick something off the list, right? Like, and to make it even easier, I just go down the list. What's the first thing on the list you ain't done yet? That one. And I check off all the other things so I don't have to repeat them if I don't want to. So I don't even have to be thinking about it. I know today I'm doing extreme plant care. This baby right here is getting a steak to help them stand up straight. I got some microfiber gloves so I can do some leaf washing. I got almost everything I need to do it too. I'm feeling great about that. And it wasn't a mentally heavy load. The decisions were made. I just have to follow through. I also got some emotional rest. I took a break from journaling for reasons unexplained, and now I'm back in journaling. The journaling allows me to express the emotions, so I'm not emotionally constipated. And I know a lot of y'all be emotionally constipated outside, and maybe I'll do a video on relieving us of that delightful emotional constipation. But all this to say that like I'm feeling pretty good about where I am now, and that I can it feels more restful. And I think that was the practice of doing the rest. I think that was the turn that I hit yesterday. So I think that I'm feeling better today, even more than I was yesterday, because I've already been taking the space for rest. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep resting. I don't know that I'm going to keep giving you updates. I don't think there's any more to give. Um, I'll check to see which rests we've already discussed, but I'm feeling pretty good. And I want to make sure that, every day I'm giving myself some type of rest out of the 7 types. So that's your rest update, your rest checkup. And I hope that you go ahead and take you some rest too. I think right now we are gunning on the longest video that I have done. Ow. Taking up that space like I said that I would yesterday. So I want you to get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. Go ahead and do that homework. That was 20 things that you know about yourself, 20 things that you love about the 20 things that you love, 20 things that you hate, and really taking that time to sit out and write out kind of the who are you with X person, and does it feel good, right, safe, and sane. All right. You are the bee's knees. This is the Daily Donna. I am Dr. Donna, and I'm going to see you in tomorrow for another episode of the Daily Donna, where we'll be talking about something else with a therapeutic edge. Bye.